Listen, there's this intriguing shift unfolding in our lives these days. Folks everywhere are carrying around this deep, intuitive sensation in their hearts, a kind of unsettled vibe without a clear label. They label it as worry, tension, or melancholy. They rush off to physicians, they pop medications, they experiment with various counseling sessions or coping strategies. But imagine if I revealed that what you're going through isn't an illness whatsoever. Suppose that nagging restlessness, that subtle disquiet, is really an indicator that you're starting to awaken. You know, we're part of a culture that's lost its mind entirely, even if it refuses to acknowledge it. We've built an existence where life's organic flow has been swapped out for the relentless chime of timepieces and the stark artificial glow of corporate spaces. We've persuaded ourselves that joy comes from hoarding possessions, that achievement involves scaling rungs on ladders going to dead ends, that affection equates to owning someone else, like a stunning item in our personal gallery. And then we puzzle over our unease. Yet here's the key insight. Your worry isn't a glitch in your makeup. It's a built-in mechanism. It's your core intuition demanding notice, much like an alarm blaring because danger truly looms. That danger is the ridiculousness of the existence we've been urged to pursue. Your unease is your spirit's signal that major issues are at play right here. Consider it like this. If you were a fish and folks had tricked you into thinking dry ground was your home, wouldn't panic set in? You'd be floundering, fighting for breath, sensing that everything felt profoundly wrong. Those nearby might urge, quote, "But your instincts would grasp the reality. You thrive in the depths." Similarly, we humans are suited for a far different environment than the one we've engineered. We flourish in a realm where we rise after true rest, not jolted by a shrieking buzzer. Your unease is your innate guidance, spotting that you're confined in a tank when truly you're designed for vast seas. Allow me to share something that could seem odd. The mere reality of your worry, your sense of isolation, your awareness that elements are absent. This positions you beyond the crowd, since most folks have dulled their senses to the chaos. They've conformed so thoroughly to this fabricated setting that they no longer register the strain of defying their essence. They're akin to individuals who've endured ill-fitting footwear for years, losing memory of the freedom in padding across soft earth unshod. They view the ongoing throb as mere existence. They accept that weekend eve gloom, that dawn of work nausea, that trapped sensation in a mismatched routine. They deem it ordinary. But you remain attuned enough to detect the squeeze. You haven't fully numbed under the grind. And that, dear one, is truly a blessing, even if it stings. Ever hear what they term those responsive to environmental hazards? Sentinels. Back in ancient shafts, workers brought songbirds along as early warnings, since these creatures would signal toxic fumes well ahead of human awareness. When the bird displayed agitation, it wasn't frailty on its part. It was vitality allowing it to perceive the threat in the atmosphere. You're that sentinel in today's societal depths. Your worry isn't a flaw of your own. It's a fitting reaction to a deranged context. You're intact. Society's fractured, and you're clear-headed enough to perceive it. Now, this is where it turns fascinating. Typically, when that worry hits, that intuition that matters are amiss. People aim to repair themselves. They assume, I must be faulty. I need to tweak my outlook, shift my mindset, foster optimism. They consult counselors who aid in fitting smoother into a flawed system. They use drugs to blunt their awareness. They fill time with diversions, pursuits, amusements, whatever quiets the rising, harsh reality. But suppose the worry isn't for eradication. What if it's for heeding? Understand, anxiety splits into two types: One's the fretful sort, born from our fantasies, fretting over unrealized or unlikely events. That's the kind stemming from head-bound dwelling, confusing notions with actuality, crediting every mental tale about what's ahead. Yet there's another I term profound unease. There's a special manner to it. This arises from within, a profound inner dialogue urging honest reflection toward genuine meetings. It's the unease of sensing ties to boundless realms amid a reality that views all as limited and throwaway. This latter form, this profound unease, isn't an issue demanding resolution. It's an alert worth following. Let me explain what's truly going on. In today's fast-paced society, that sense of unease you experience stems from the clash between your authentic essence and the fabricated persona society has conditioned you to adopt. It's the discord between life's organic rhythm and the rigid frameworks we've imposed upon it. Picture it this way. A stream glides effortlessly past boulders and along ravines in its natural state. Yet once obstructed by barriers, that peaceful motion disrupts. The currents grow chaotic, slamming into barriers, building up strain, yearning to reclaim its free path. Similarly, your unease represents the upheaval of your vital energy, struggling to navigate a contrived environment. Typically, folks encounter this inner chaos and respond by saying, "Hantu quote." 2. Consequently, they push harder to conform to the mold. They clock extra hours on the job. They accumulate possessions. They adhere strictly to norms. They pop more medications. They attempt to coerce contentment from an existence that inherently contradicts their core. Imagine, however, if rather than erecting firmer confines, you heeded the stream's urgent message. Suppose your unease serves as a guidepost leading you to liberation. You might find this intriguing. In ancient communities, individuals with heightened awareness, those who perceived emotions more intensely, who appeared attuned to realms beyond the everyday, weren't dismissed to therapists. Instead, they were celebrated as spiritual guides, visionaries, or menders. Their perceptiveness was viewed as a blessing, not a burden. These were the souls who sensed the unsensed, perceived the unseen. They linked the tangible realm with the ethereal. Their inner unrest wasn't labeled a disorder. It was revered as evidence of their bond with the divine. Yet our society dismisses anything transcendent. We've engineered an existence that's wholly profane, wholly tangible, wholly obsessed with appearances. In this setup, those who plumb the profound, who detect the enigma, who sense life's hidden layers beyond the obvious, they'll inevitably feel unsettled. They'll sense alienation, and they're spot on. They don't fit. Not in this engineered reality we've devised, but consider the stunning irony. The exact quality that leaves you feeling estranged in this mad environment also ties you to a vast, genuine reality. Your radar for the inauthenticity surrounding you doubles as your radar for the deeper reality it conceals. That unsettled feeling highlights the divide between reality and potential. It underscores the separation between your current routine and your destined path. It reveals the strain between the identity you've been molded into and your true identity. Sure, this divide, this separation, this pull, it's uncomfortable, but it's far from pointless. It acts as your internal guide, directing you to your genuine being. I frequently reflect on kids and their innate way of existing before we condition it away. Youngsters aren't burdened by output demands. They harbor no shame in frolicking, giggling, or exploring endlessly. They avoid glancing at clocks constantly or fretting over time optimization. They inhabit the now not through sophisticated mindfulness practices, but simply because that's life's true locus. They weep in sorrow, chuckle at humor, thrill over basics like rain pools, winged insects, or empty crates. Along the path, though, we instill in them that such spontaneity is misguided. We impart that existence demands gravity. We urge delaying delight, toiling presently for deferred leisure, swapping immediacy for an uncertain tomorrow. No surprise, then, that grown-ups grapple with restlessness? We've been schooled to exist anywhere but the here and now. Your unease echoes your youthful spirit protesting. Quote 3. And that youthful voice couldn't be more accurate. That said, I'm not claiming every bout of unease is a delight, or that you should avoid aid during tough spells. Certain moments see it escalate to the point of impairing daily life, and then expert assistance proves essential. What I propose, though, is pausing before quashing it entirely, to tune into its signal. Frequently, unease isn't the issue itself. It's the herald alerting you to the underlying trouble. That trouble? We've lost sight of true living. We've overlooked that labor should channel our ingenuity, not act as a punishment endured for financial gain. We've overlooked the essence of relationships, which should center on genuine bonds and affection rather than fulfilling one another's demands. We've lost sight of the fact that our bodies aren't mechanical devices to fine-tune, but vibrant organisms with inherent intelligence. We've ignored our deep ties to the natural world, seeing ourselves instead as detached from it. We've come to view ourselves as solitary competitors in a race against others, when in truth, we're linked souls breathing the same atmosphere, drawing from the same waters, inhabiting the same earth. That unease you experience is your body's signal, recalling what your thoughts have let slip away. Allow me to sketch a scene for you. Picture yourself at a gathering where folks are all faking delight. The tunes blast excessively, the chats lack depth, and the vibe comes across as contrived and phony. In that setting, you'd likely sense discomfort, and others might urge you to unwind and have fun. Yet your discomfort would make perfect sense. It'd be your true essence detecting that the event lacks real enjoyment, that the happiness is fabricated, that a vital element is absent. Our whole society mirrors that soiree. We've staged this grand display of wealth and advancement, but beneath the surface, a crucial piece is lacking. We've drifted from the pure delight of mere existence. We've swapped enigma for assurance, awe for facts, mindfulness for efficiency. And those among us, gripped by unease, are precisely the ones who haven't wholly embraced the performance. We're the individuals who, on some profound level, still sense the essence of true vitality in our core. Our unease embodies our genuineness, resisting suppression. That's precisely why attempting to eliminate your unease without tackling the root causes that spawn, it resembles popping painkillers for a fractured bone. The pills may numb the ache, but they won't mend the injury. Here, the fracture represents our severance from our innate essence. The fracture signifies our estrangement from the environment. The fracture highlights our separation from one another and from the profound aspect of life. Your unease isn't merely individual, it's communal, too. You're sensing not only your personal rift, but the broader rift of humanity from its origins. We've built a reality where most folks endure more artificial illumination than sunlight, where our meals come from crops cultivated far off by strangers we'll never encounter, where our careers involve crafting items we barely comprehend for organizations that leave us indifferent, where we dwell in stacked enclosures amid unfamiliar faces, and then we puzzle over our restlessness, our melancholy, our conviction that an element is absent. What's absent is vitality itself, authentic vitality. Not the counterfeit version we've been marketed, but the tangible sensation of existing as a breathing entity on a thriving world. Yet amid this, there's encouragement. The mere presence of your unease, that inner agitation, that intuition something's amiss, signals your true self remains vibrant. It indicates you haven't been entirely conditioned. It suggests a portion of you retains the memory of genuine existence. Your unease acts like a beacon, guiding you toward Lun. But your real abode isn't a spot marked on a chart. It's a mode of existence. It's the awareness where you're wholly engaged, wholly vital, wholly you. And you can tap into this awareness wherever, whenever. No need to overhaul your world in an instant. No requirement to relocate to a forest retreat or affiliate with a commune. Simply begin heeding the wisdom your unease imparts, and initiate minor adjustments aligned with its direction. Perhaps it involves more moments outdoors, perhaps declining obligations that sap your vitality, perhaps fostering candid dialogues with those you cherish, perhaps pursuing employment that carries purpose, perhaps just decelerating to savor a meal, sense your respiration, observe the heavens. The journey toward genuineness varies for each person, but it invariably begins with one action: tuning into your inner state as it unfolds now, rather than striving to repair, alter, or enhance it. Your unease isn't a foe. It's an ally, a mentor, your internal navigator. It's the facet of you that discerns the authentic from the illusory, the sustenance for your spirit from what depletes it. So, when unease arises next, rather than rushing to dispel it, experiment with this. Pause and embrace it briefly. Sense it physically. Inquire what insight it offers. Absorb its wisdom without critique. You could uncover that your unease masks enthusiasm. Enthusiasm for alternative ways of living. Enthusiasm for a truer existence. Enthusiasm for rediscovering your core self. Or you might realize it's sorrow. Sorrow for the aspects of yourself you've concealed, or dissorrow over the vanishing wilderness. Sorrow for the bonds we've severed in our frantic chase for advancement. Both thrill and sorrow emerge as instinctive reactions when you stir to awareness in a slumbering society. Indicators exist that you're growing more aware, more vibrant, more authentic. And amid a reality that appears to stumble blindly into catastrophe, awareness is precisely the antidote we crave. We require individuals who are alert, who sense deeply, who refuse to desensitize themselves to the splendor and anguish of being. Your unease may feel distressing, yet it also signals that you're truly vital in profound respects. It demonstrates that your inner essence persists in championing you, that your core being continues striving for manifestation. Thus, resist the urge to medicalize your unease with the prevailing order. Shun the impulse to conform to a flawed society. Your unease could simply be your rationality striving to shield you from madness. The real inquiry isn't about quelling that unease in a directionless era. It's about harnessing it as energy to rediscover your path to vitality, to allow it to steer you toward authenticity, toward truth, toward vibrancy. Ultimately, it's not anxiety afflicting you, it's awakening. And our world urgently calls for additional souls who have awakened.